From my point of view, I don't see things as failures. I talked myself out of that a long time ago. I just see things as results. Many years ago, when I was the assistant director and choreographer at Jupiter's Casino here on the Gold Coast, which was big multi-million-dollar shows, I turned my producer down. I turned down his sexual advances, and he then sacked me for apparently being too fat. You know the story. And so that was back in 1988, and we had no industrial relations laws then that would protect me. We only had the Australian Reconciliation and Arbitration Commission. So I took him there to court, and it just blew out of all proportion. Somebody told the media, it was all across front page coverage, Dancer sacked for being too fat, on and on it went. The commissioner reinstated me. I go back. And then, of course, by then I'm absolutely shattered. I go on sick leave. He sacks me again. I take him back to court. The commissioner doesn't reinstate me because he's really worried about my health. So I lost my entire career. And so I had probably the best job in Australia because I was working with Jerry Jackson, who was a Las Vegas director. I'd also been the assistant director and choreographer for the Mrs. World pageant here. So I was right there. And so the rug was pulled out from underneath me, and I'll never forget that night when all of this came crashing down, and I'm lying on the bathroom floor, and I still remember basically thinking that suicide was a better option.
Oh, honey.
But the whole issue of that is that I will never die with regret because I stood firmly like Regina. I stood firmly on my values. I stood firmly on my integrity, and it didn't matter what anybody could do to me from then on, because I'd already been to the bottom of the barrel, and I knew that the only way was up.
Oh, yes.
And so for me, it was never failure, and it was from that moment on that I went, sorry, no, it's all on my terms now. And I guess what I've learned is that not everybody has the same values as me at all. I don't horse trade. You can't buy me. If you hate me because of that, I don't give, I don't care. I rise with love, and my whole life is about that, rising with love. I'm not, but that taught me something about me, is that I had untold courage, and other people say, yeah, but look what you lost. No, look what I gained. I gained such insight into me, and it was that moment in my life that I started to wake up to exactly who I was on a much grander scale than a puny, pusillanimous personality. And that's the message I do in all my teachings and my speaking, and that's the message I really want to give, particularly women, is that you're so much grander and more wise and more fabulous and more expansive and more eternal and more invincible than you can even imagine.
Oh, I love that. See, we can change the world.
The best advice I receive on a daily basis is from in my meditations, where I am constantly told by the still small voice within, you are exactly right where you need to be.
I love that.
It just puts me right in a space of trust, and I know where I need to be.
And it's so important, that trust, eh? Thank you, Diane. Ellen, I know you've got something up your sleeve.
I think it's maybe not advice, but maybe more the sense of you are enough. You're enough. You are enough. And learning to understand and grasp it and breathe it and think it and believe it. I think I don't know if it's best advice, but the best advice to myself is you are enough. And as Diane says, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and this too shall pass. So when the money's rolling in, I still think like, oh Jesus, please also let it roll in tomorrow and the month after, and the month and when it doesn't roll in, I also know going to come again. It's temporary.
Oh, Regina, please share. I can't wait to hear. I love advice from mothers. They're so wise.
But you know, I when I got when my mother told me that I was capable of doing, I was a child that was capable of doing anything I set my mind to. And she always said that I was that child. And she always told me that I should go after my dreams and accomplish everything I set out to do. So that for me
is that what
has always,
inspire you?
she's passed now. She passed from breast cancer a few years ago. But that advice that she gave me, telling me I'm enough to keep going, I use that all the time. It's like when I'm about to give up, I'm like, she raised 6 children by herself, making $50. I could do this, you know?
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. And all of us had our right mind, right?
Wow, that is inspiring.
So, yeah.
It's not really an advice. It was something the doctor said. I am suffering from a multiple sclerosis. I don't know if you know the illness.
Multiple sclerosis.
Yes. Yeah. And when the doctor told me that, I was shocked, and I thought, oh my goodness. And but then he said. He just told about other patients that you sometimes have patients who just get stuck in being ill and only thinking about the things they can't do, and who are not thinking in possibilities anymore. They stop thinking in chances, and then this is a very important thing to remember, that whenever this is a thing I don't want. I just want to think in the things I can do, and not in the things I can't do. And it was not an advice. It was just something he said, but it was something I really, really, really.
It changed your mindset.
Yes, maybe it didn't change it. I think I am a positive person, and I am an entrepreneur, so I'm thinking in chances. But I just realized this is important.
Okay. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change.
Yes.
And that was just so profound for me. That was like, whoa, oh yeah, that's so true. Because if I change the way I look at it, then things are going to change.
The biggest piece of advice that I've been given is to keep moving forward. One thing that my husband always says is, you can do anything for 10 seconds at a time, anything. Honestly, like, just keep marching and keep moving forward and keep putting your foot in front of the other and just doing it, instead of like, I'm an overthinker with severe anxiety and ADHD. So I just kind of like, my head is kind of constant chaos. And so he has to sometimes be like one foot in front of another. Like, we're not dancing right here. Like, just keep walking forward. We're not, doing the 2 steps. So that's my husband gives me incredible advice, like, constantly. And so I think that's my biggest one, is to keep moving forward.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we had the opportunity to get together and talk about these things from all over the world. It was really something very special to be part of. So if you like this, stay tuned, because we will bring out some more videos, and do let me know, what would you like to hear about next time, and would you like to participate in these roundtable discussions? Send me an email, send me a link, like and share. We always love to hear from you. Thank you so much.